Games. Wednesday night games.
And welcome into We Talk Sports Good. We are back here on another Wednesday, and it's a duo show here as Randall and I will have you covered. So just another football week, and I believe next week, correct, we are going to get into a little basketball since the season's crazy already right around the corner. So preseason.
Jalen will be joining us.
Perfect.
So,
There we go. So expert in for Jalen, because no one really needs my basketball predictions, so perfect. Then we'll get him in there with you guys, and I'll try to hold you guys under an hour since we've had a basketball preview go almost an hour 30 the first time we did it.
Oh man, yeah, we were close to 2 hours the very first time. But that's just, I mean, me and Jalen lived together for like a year and a half. I was in his wedding. We're close, so we can pretty much do that at any point. Just talk about basketball. I am interested to see though if you're going to put down the $1,000 on the Pistons,
no,
so that you win $5 million. If you put $1,000 down right now for them to win the finals.
Yeah, that's a negative.
You don't believe in the resurrection of Blake Griffin?
No, not at all. Maybe like
I would say
$5.
I was shocked that y'all and the Knicks were in the same.
Right.
Like I honestly feel like the Hornets should be even lower.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Hornets are lower than y'all. To me, they are. I mean,
I think so, but I mean,
yeah.
I also get our odds aren't anywhere great either, but
no, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah, it is what it is. So maybe like $5. That could still win a lot, right? Because I mean,
oh, for sure. Yeah, it win quite a bit.
So maybe we'll pull those odds out there too for the start of next week. Throw some out there and see where you and Jalen kind of feel on maybe what has a good value other than, of course, the favorites.
Oh yeah, I got some picks on that for sure that I like, definitely.
Perfect. As you hear right there, we'll get NBA next week, and we got some more college football and NFL going. We have our final rankings until the bowls are announced and the playoffs announced, so we'll kind of touch on that. Our last week, some games, look ahead as we have conference championship week, but it's a little different since we do have more than just conference championship games going on, since some teams are doing makeup. Big Ten has some extra games thrown around there, so it'll be more than just conference championships going on. And then we'll swing in after the break to some NFL action. So we got you covered there. I think we can really start diving into the NFL playoff picture since it's really narrowing down on what teams we got going in on both sides.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to get into this playoff rankings too, because there's some stuff.
So we'll recap last week real quick. Touch on some games. Our picks. You went 5-5, correct?
Yeah, I did 5-5 and got my lock. So. But
I went 4-5-1. Did not get my lock. So looking back, I had the push thanks to Oregon State only. I kind of was wondering about that +3. I was really hoping it could have been a +3.5.
Yeah.
3's a tough number since that could be an easy loss right there. But looking back at the games there that we had Saturday, just Alabama's Alabama. People did Mac Jones hurt his Heisman campaign and they went 52-3 because they didn't need him to do anything.
Yeah.
Georgia got a free top.
Do you think he's going to come out, by the way, this year?
Man,
I feel like he would. I feel like he would service himself better though if he waited.
I don't know.
I mean, look, obviously if he didn't get hurt, but
I think Yes, but in the sense too, I mean, you look at it. Let's see, I'm pulling it up. I mean, he's got a 76 completion percentage, 3,321 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 3 picks. I mean, he's got 42 touchdowns and 6 picks, 72.8 Alabama career.
Yeah, but if with this class, he'd be looking at, obviously
like
the big two.
Yeah.
Lawrence, Fields are coming off. Then Lance and Wilson.
Wilson and Trask.
And then he's probably there after. That's
yes, but I could also see him jumping Trask for some people, and even Wilson.
God, dude, this is actually I really like this quarterback class coming out.
That's why I think he just goes for it, because there is a lot of team. There's a heavy need.
Yeah.
And if you take advantage of it now, maybe if you wait next year, you're not in as great of a, maybe they just feel comfortable, because like you said, this is a really deep class. So maybe someone that does say, for example, Trask goes, let's just say end of the first. Well, maybe that team that went end of the first, now you just filled a hole that maybe throwing it out there. Trask goes to New Orleans, Breeze stays another year. Well, then that's for sure then a team that's not going to take you the next year. Maybe like a situation like that. Maybe like the Steelers take the quarterback they think for the future. Well, now you just once again cross another team that could have picked you. So I honestly think there might be a little more benefit this year, because going into next year, I think there's going to be other people they're going to view as that maybe that like Slovis, maybe that guy that will take over the one. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever going to view Mac Jones as like a top 5 guy. So why not just go for it now and maybe find the right spot for you?
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't know. This draft will be interesting with these guys too, because I think because there is so many of those guys that we potentially like deep in the first, second, and then even into the third, that this will be the year. It seems like we've been waiting a while to see. We've been talking about teams doing it, but they haven't quite done it yet. These teams that are the Roethlisberger, what was the Chargers, they did it, but it was kind of more after they got Rivers. But these teams that have these older quarterbacks go ahead and get their guy for the future, which Packers kind of kicked it off, which is not the one that we thought would kick it off, because they have the youngest of the old quarterbacks, I guess you would say. But like the Bucs have to draft somebody. They have to draft somebody.
You would think this would be the smart time to do it with this kind of class depth.
Yeah, the Bucs need to draft somebody. The Steelers need to draft somebody clearly, because I doubt they still think Rudolph is the answer. Saints
could, maybe if they fall in love with someone.
Could, but Sean, he was actually talking about this week, that he wants to ideally bring Winston back next year so that he can battle with Taysom for the spot. Okay. But whatever, man. I don't know. I hope he sees something there that we don't, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, Steelers.
I mean, there's a
Colts are going to have to get someone, because they clearly are not willing to go with Brissett, which I don't get.
Yeah, and I think they'd be more than willing to take someone in this class to battle with ease. I don't.
Yep. Pats are going to be looking at getting a quarterback.
There's a lot of teams. I'm briefly looking. I mean, I've heard things that Shanahan's not sold on Garoppolo as the future.
Right.
So why not take someone if you're in a good position? Will the
Jags,
of course. Do the Panthers stick with Teddy? I mean,
I think they will. I think Teddy
will.
did well enough.
I think they will, but his contract's not something that they could easily move off of it. Like I said, the Bucs, Saints, depending on where they could fall.
Falcons are going to have to get somebody.
Whether it's this year or next. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, I think they'll still stick with, but there's a road that the Vikings move on from Cousins, depending on how this goes. Washington's obviously going in
Washington
a direction.
has to get a quarterback.
Depends on how you feel about Drew Lock. I still am not sold that Gruden wants Carr, and I could
I'm not either.
Moving on.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jags, Colts, Steelers.
What about your Lions?
And that's another thing. I mean, what's the next GM and coach come in?
Yeah,
there is a potential that they just scratch everything.
Yeah, that's what that's dependent on. If the Lions were to get a offensive coach, offensive coach that is normally like a QB guy, I would imagine that means Stafford's gone, because typically the QB guy likes to come in with a fresh, this is my guy type of thing, which is, I think, the reason people are still not sold that Gruden is sold on Carr, because Gruden's a quarterback guy and he's not necessarily. This wasn't the guy he brought in, so.
There's a lot of moving parts that could happen.
Yeah.
And that opens up, like I said, if the Falcons move on, Matt Ryan still has value. Stafford obviously still has value. So then you're just kind of plugging in a different hole, but then you're opening up a new team.
Yep. So. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a long list, which the list is weird because it's not necessarily like all these teams. Like, yes, we say they need a quarterback, but they don't need one next season.
Yes.
Obviously
the Jets
there's a
and
few.
Jags. Yeah.
Yeah. Jets and Jags
and
have to get one. And Washington.
Three, yeah. Those are locks.
That's it. But that's it. Those are the only ones. We're in this weird. I know we've kind of gone away from college football now and we're talking about NFL. It just kind of happens whenever we start talking about the draft. But we're in this weird state in the NFL right now where there's actually a lot of really good quarterbacks, like a lot of good is a stretch, but serviceable quarterbacks that can win you games.
Yeah, and you take the guys too that are the Sam Darnold's drop. Maybe someone still does see the value.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they might not be going like a Darnold's probably going somewhere where he's going to have to sit a year because he's not going to get a shot right away. But
a team we didn't even mention, or you might have said him, and I just. But Chicago.
Oh,
Chicago's got
completely blew over there. Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago's got to get a quarterback.
Someone's going to take a flyer on Mitch to back up, and
totally.
Then throwing this out there, I doubt it happens. But does 49ers send Jimmy G back to New England?
I don't know, man.
Belichick wanted him more than Brady, the rumors were.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird situation. I don't really see that happening necessarily. I almost feel like there'd be a little pride factor in that because was Jimmy traded or was
traded.
He? Okay, I couldn't remember if he was traded or signed. Yeah, with the traded thing, I feel like there's almost a little pride factor in that of like, we traded you, now we have to trade back for you. But I don't know. I feel like there's not hard feelings there between them because, I don't know.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. We might have to really do a QB carousel predictions with the draft and moves just showing its own. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a wild off season. Yeah. So we'll move back into college football. I almost forgot Friday. Arizona State beat Arizona 70-7 and got someone fired.
Yeah.
Kind of forgot it was there.
I have no idea what someone's next step would be.
OC. Mid-tier.
Yeah, I was not even an OC at the top. Maybe better than that. I mean, I could see him being OC at like
Kansas.
So that's so sad that I was gonna say the same thing, but yeah. I mean, somewhere like that. Which, by the way, a couple of friends I have huge Tech fans, and it's one in particular. I think I've sold him on Sarkisian as their next head coach. Okay. I think that'd be a good pairing.
Actually, I could see someone going to Tech as OC. I think that could work.
Yeah. The Sarkisian as the head coach thing, he was like, is Lubbock good for somebody's sobriety? And I was like, look, man, it's
better than
Lubbock is a college town. He's in Tuscaloosa right now. It's a college town. If he was going to fall off, I don't think one of those small college towns would be the problem, probably. It would probably be like if he went and coached UNLV. Like, we don't want him in Vegas. Yeah. But no, I think he'd be fine there. I think he's probably that is hopefully all behind him. But I like that pairing, him there.
But yeah, interesting as well as we keep seeing some more coaching carousel in the college football realm as we have Illinois has opened up. Arizona opened up. I mean, Vanderbilt got their guy. Let's see, any other Coastal locked up their coach for the next like 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm. Can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
So Liberty head coach.
Oh yes, the Liberty Hugh Freeze rumors.
Yeah,
Auburn's open. Yeah, we just completely overshadowed that. Gus Malzone actually got fired.
Yeah, that's huge. He'll go
3-4 years. Oh yeah, but that's been what 3-4 years. It seems like he's going to get fired there.
Yeah, and he just like keeps winning these weird games that like save him his job. I don't know. But anyways, Hugh Freeze. Is it Hugh? Is that what his first name is? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if he goes to Auburn. Do you think that?
That's the thought that could happen.
Okay.
That was a thing, like they were saying, like South Carolina, he wanted something bigger than that. So that would be like, well, then he wants Auburn.
See, and I feel like South Carolina would have been perfect for him, honestly. But okay, so let's entertain the idea that he goes to Auburn. The Liberty coach job is open.
Oh no. Yeah.
Art Briles.
Yeah. That's 100% happening.
That's gonna happen.
McCall's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's all there.
Yeah, I'm not picking. If that happens, I'm not ever picking Liberty in any other games.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Nope.
There's not much to say. I mean, yes, there is some certain things that maybe were blamed on him that shouldn't have been blamed on him, but the one thing's 100% sure is he is not a quote-unquote good guy.
Yeah.
He is not a good guy in this scenario at all. So I can't believe he's going to find his way back. I just can't.
That's
and he's going to do well.
That's going to do it, though.
But he's going to do well.
And then that would open up the door to someone else.
Yes. He's just going to keep doing well because he is a good coach. He's a great coach. I mean, look, I know people don't necessarily know about the high school that he was coaching at, but I do because they're in East Texas. I know about them. The fact that he coached them up that quickly is impressive. It really is. They were good, and he did an incredibly impressive job there. He can still coach, and he's gonna be good wherever he goes. And I feel like it's almost a foregone conclusion at this point that he's going to end up Liberty. The reason I brought up the Tech thing was to get here because the same friend was like, I feel like we're going to get Art Briles and I'm going to be pissed. And I was like, no. There's no way he gets back in the Big 12 that quick. Yeah. No way.
He's going to have to go somewhere else first.
Yeah. There's just no way.
Yeah.
But, ugh.
Yep. So, other games that happened, we have Georgia got a free top 25 win because the rankings just wanted to give them another ranked win. But interesting to see what happens when they put in, JT Daniels, not Stetson Bennett, captain check down there. We actually see George Pickens join. I like how people are like, oh, Pickens is not living up to his potential. I'm like, he doesn't have a quarterback that will actually throw it 10 to 20 yards downfield for him.
Right.
Like, crazy what happens when their offense completely opens up when they have, one of the top talent roster-wise, 3 to 5, because they do.
Mm-hmm.
NFL,
sure.
Moving on, they're going to have a lot of NFL players, and you're going to look back at this team and go, wow, how did they not do better? How are they not more in the playoff picture?
Isn't that how it usually is, though? I mean, no offense to them, but...
Yeah, no, that's fair, but, I mean, at least, they didn't even put up a fight. I guess they did for a half against Alabama, but then it just got ugly. Then Florida, they didn't even that wasn't even that close. They at least, the other times it's more heartbreaks. That was just they just didn't have it because Stetson Bennett was just not enough. Yeah.
I don't know. That's Georgia does. They have. I feel for their fans sometimes because it's constant with them every year. It's just like they're right there and they just can't beat the Bama. This year they couldn't beat Bama or Florida, but it's usually they just can't beat Bama or they do beat Bama and then they go to the playoffs and get knocked out quick or whatever, whatever it is. They just kind of can't catch a break sometimes there, but look, no one can catch a break against Bama. That's kind of how it works. So,
yep.
That needs to be a discussion? Is that reign ever going to end now with Bama?
Whenever
I mean, I don't think we've ever.
Saban
There's
retires, then maybe, because then
maybe
it could. Then it depends on who it is. You
Yeah.
know, if the rumors of Dabo wants next shot up because that's that's where he started, that's where he walked on, then yeah, sure, that will keep going. But if they have to go a different route and that poor person has to follow him, I think it's going to be too much pressure. I don't know who else can really follow him right now.
But I'm
Unless
sure
that's
there's
when Urban Meyers decides to come out of retirement, is because he gets to walk right back into an Alabama.
Goodness, I'm sure there's some college football historians that can correct me on this, but we've never seen anything like that, have we? I mean,
unless you're counting like the 1920s when there's only like 8 teams, but
yeah, but even then, I mean, like, look, we're talking about since 2009 was when they got back into it with Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
That's when they played, that's when they played the Longhorns was 2009. So
a little 11-year stretch.
Yeah.
Has not slowed down.
Like 11 years, and like, do you see it slowing down in the next 10 years?
Look at everyone they're bringing in. They have an offense now. That was the thing. They were just such a dominant defense. Now that he goes, okay, fine, I'll recruit offense now. I'm going to have an unstoppable
guess what? We can
offense.
Throw the ball too.
Yeah, I'm going to have 3 NFL caliber wide receivers. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to also now have quarterbacks that are dual threat. Like, I mean, not obviously Mac Jones, but look at Bryce Young. I mean, he flipped the number 1 quarterback to Alabama. That's not even what he used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua was high ranked. I mean, just yeah, he's going for quarterbacks now. He said, okay, fine, I'm done just ground and pound and great defense. We're going to also add in an air raid offense.
Which, by the way, next year, if Mac leaves, which now remembering that Bryce is there, I hope he does, because the quicker we can get Bryce to Showtime, it's time, baby, because he's the real deal. I think he's going to be the best quarterback they've had. I really do. Wow. I think he's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see him.
Yeah, which, by the way, we haven't even mentioned, it is signing day. Yeah. The kid that Oregon got, I'm really excited for Oregon. They got a 5-star pocket passer, and I like them. I like him a lot. I'm blanking on his name right now, but I texted Jalen because Jalen's a huge Oregon fan, and he's pretty excited because God knows they
need a little help.
Yeah, they need a little help. Texas not doing great this year. We did get a 5-star, but 5-star athlete and the kid from
Denton Ryan.
No, not Denton. Oh wait, is he from Denton?
Yeah, Denton Ryan.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that's kind of the only person we got. We're in the top 20, but I think OU's ahead of us right now, which is bad. But really, the Big 12 as a whole, usually the Big 12 is plenty of teams up there. Like there's OU and Texas right there.
Yeah.
And then there's a big gap for the next Big 12 team coming in. So I think the Big 12 took a hit that might affect the Big 12 for a while for the next few years this past season. Because we've looked bad.
Yeah. Let's I don't think there's a whole lot of other ones I really want to pull up. I mean, we have Coastal had a little tough game, but they won. We had a great Army-Navy type game, 15 points scored, 15-0. North Carolina just destroyed the U. We had, and then I think really the only other interesting point I want to throw out is the shoe throw that ended a game. How do you
say that again?
The shoe throw that cost you a game? How do you let LSU put up 37? That just, I think this will trail right into rankings. How the disrespect of the committee to only drop them 1 spot for losing to a terrible LSU team that has done nothing on offense all year. They lose to a horrible game. That's a horrible loss. And they only drop 1. And the disrespect to all the other teams.
Yeah, that is really disrespectful.
They said Iowa State got to move up because the team ahead of them lost. So Cincinnati, even though Iowa State didn't play, but then Cincinnati doesn't play, and they moved down, but the team ahead of them lost.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I think it's all about. Gosh, this is gonna sound like I'm such a hater of them, and I am, but that's not coming into play right now. I feel like it's all about poisoning it so that A&M doesn't get in. I really do. Like that kind of just.
Oh,
I guess,
is 100%. They're trying to make sure Florida. They don't want to. They really don't want to put a like. I mean, I guess from the perspective, I get it. Like the chance, A&M could make a 4 seed and have to play Bama again. Like, yeah, I don't want that. You saw that already. It wasn't a close game. It wasn't even something you were like, I could see a rematch.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually shocked that they didn't. So this is kind of when I heard Iowa State got bumped so high, I was like, oh, Oklahoma must have been bumped over. I thought that they might be in the 8 spot.
I did too.
Because that way it's poisoning it to where they can, if all hell breaks loose, they can be like, oh, the Big 12 champions over A&M.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too. And yet they decided, a Georgia team, their toughest 2 games, they lost, and not well. They still gave them an 8 spot because they beat Missouri.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I like Georgia coming into the year, but they blew it. Like, you don't lose. I don't care about the tough schedule. If you lose to the 2 games that matter, you lost them both and you weren't close. Like, I'm sorry, they should be 10th at the highest, but they shouldn't, because look now, I mean, they're going to give an SEC an extra New Year's Six Bowl when really I would like to see someone else, because they don't really deserve it. They lost their 2 shots, and you know what? And then I want to go to Dan Mullins complaining that, well, maybe I need to play less games. You lost to a terrible LSU team and you're only 7? No, you're fine. There's bias.
Yeah.
They're giving you a chance.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
But don't lose to LSU then.
Say that again?
I said don't lose to LSU. Don't lose to A&M.
Right.
Games you should have won.
As much as this hurts me to say, because I don't want them in there, but I don't want to see any team get screwed out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
If Clemson loses to Notre Dame,
they have to be. I don't want to
part 3. Be out.
You lost
and then
twice.
if you put a 2-loss Iowa State in, that, assuming they beat Oklahoma over A&M, that's BS, man. Yeah. That is BS. That's not right. It's not right. Or if you now, they better not. I swear to God. At rank 10, if they jumped OU after they beat Iowa State. Now look, if OU went out there and beat Iowa State by 60, maybe. But that's not going to happen. So if they have a 10 ranked OU jump all the way up to that 4 spot, raging. That's hell, give it to Coastal Carolina instead.
That's another good point I want to bring up. Look, I get it. The Sun Belt team's not making a playoff, but to keep them at 12. And then the funniest question, I don't know if you saw some of the questions that the reporters asked after. Someone said, yeah, Iowa State didn't play, and interesting with the 2, why is Iowa State so high at 6? You have an undefeated Coastal at 12. And they're like, well, we looked at Iowa State, they had the 2 big wins versus Texas and OU, 2 ranked wins. And that was, really, really important to us. And then they go, well, Coastal has 2 ranked wins as well with BYU and Louisiana, and Louisiana beat Iowa State. Beat Iowa State. So they're like, does that not mean anything? They're like, well, and they just kind of like moved on.
Yeah. Look, we know what the playoff committee is praying for. They're praying that Alabama wins, Ohio State wins, and Clemson beats Notre Dame by a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit.
Shoot, I could see, I know we say that if Clemson loses, they're out. I could see them also going in. Maybe Clemson just loses by a little bit, and they're like, we'll keep them at 4 then.
You say that if they lost by 3 to Notre Dame, they put them at 4?
I could see it. Do I think that should happen? Hey, no. Do you think the committee would do that, to have Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, 4 big brands in? Yes.
Let me throw this out to you. If Notre Dame beats Clemson again with Trevor Lawrence, put them at 1. Put them at 1, dude. you can't tell me for a second that the teams that Alabama has beat is better than Notre Dame beating Clemson twice.
I mean,
There's
I guess
no
you
way.
have technically they have a 5-8 win for Alabama, but then you have Notre Dame beat what 2-3 because Clemson was 2 then.
Yes, and everyone knows if they beat Clemson again with Trevor Lawrence, they're the real deal. There's no disputing it anymore. They are good. I feel like we're already at that point where you can't dispute that they're good.
Yeah.
But if they beat them again, hell, I mean, they might give Bama a run. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, but like you said, the scenario is Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson wins. That is the dream scenario.
And look, to be honest, that's what I want. Because when I look at those 4 teams and I look at the rest of college football, it looks like they're legitimately just those 4 teams that are in a class of their own.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else. It really does.
I would like to see that and Notre Dame go to 4 so that we're not having part 3, right away. And I would mainly also because I want to see Dabo, who keeps taking shots about Ohio State, have to face Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, and that's what it would be. So Clemson would jump to 2, Ohio State to 3, Notre Dame would be 4. And the numbers they would get from an Alabama versus Notre Dame and Ohio State versus Clemson.
And they're going to play Dabo's comments on repeat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then imagine if we have Clemson, Alabama round, what is that, 5? 4?
Whatever it is now, yeah.
I think it's 4, right?
Sounds right. It feels like every year. So.
Either 4 or 5. I know it's not 3 because they've already done 3 of them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because, just no offense to any of these other teams, A&M versus Alabama is not going to get the viewership.
No, and you saw that already.
Yeah.
And it wasn't close. It'd be one thing if it was a close game. It wasn't.
No.
A&M hasn't done anything different that would be like, yeah, no, they could stand it. I think they have a different outcome versus Alabama this time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. They are so, I don't care what they say. The money is on, money signs are in their eyes when they're making these.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So, I don't know. If Clemson gets beat again, then this will be a really good year for them after the season is over to go back and reassess how they do the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't go like that, they're going to be like, look, the 4 teams works. We have Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. But who was it that posted? There was somebody that posted like the optimal playoff series.
The 16 team.
Yeah, and it looked perfect. Granted, I am still in the class. I've been saying this since day one. Does it matter? No, it doesn't, because at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Look, we have.
You have the
64 in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you have the 65 and 66 team.
Oh yeah,
angry that they left out.
Yep. So, yes, it does help in college football because there is a clear drop off. Look, there's a clear drop off at 12. You hit Coastal Carolina, and arguably Coastal Carolina is probably in that too, because I love them, but they can't. I doubt they can hang in there with a Georgia. I really do. But USC, they can't touch any of those teams. Like, USC can't touch any of those teams. Northwestern,
Yeah.
So, there's definitely a drop off, but I think it does need to at least get expanded a few more teams to.
Yeah.
Because if it gets expanded to, then they can finally start throwing in those Coastal Carolinas, BYU. Which actually, I'm going to take BYU out of that. I think if BYU is still undefeated right now, they would consider that. If BYU is undefeated right now, they beat Coastal Carolina.
No.
Do you think they would be somewhere in the 6 range?
No way they would want it. They keep moving. They've gotten all the excuses they can. They're like, oh man, we put Cincinnati too high. Yeah, no, they wouldn't do it. I could see them at like 8 or 9, and maybe then Cincinnati was 7. Like they'll keep them at the back end of the top 10, be like, see, look, they were kind of close, but nope, not enough.
Yeah. It's all screwed up, man.
Yep.
San Jose State is number 24. That's all I gotta say.
8-2 Army's not ranked. Come on.
Come on. Show some respect.
Yeah. Well, I'll give my quick picks. You don't have any this week, correct?
No, I didn't. It kind of slipped my mind that there's like way more than just the.
Yeah, I almost did it, and then I was like, oh wait, I can put together 10. So I'll throw them out here real quick. Friday, the Pac-12 championship that was supposed to be USC versus Washington is now USC versus Oregon, and of course in Pac-12 fashion, USC is playing a team that had a week off and they didn't. So of course that makes sense for your best team. Whatever. Day early instead of playing Saturday. But I will still take USC to cover the 3 versus Oregon. I'll keep it a close game, but I'll take them to cover 3. I'm going to take Ohio State to cover that 20.5 versus Northwestern. Don't think they have enough offense. I will go my lock of the week, A&M over Tennessee, that -14, because Tennessee is awful. I'm going to take a close game, and I will take Iowa State plus 5.5 versus OU.
Mm-hmm.
I will share my pick, who I think will actually win the game here in a little bit. Army is an underdog versus Air Force. Give me the plus 2.5 versus Army. Disrespectful that 8-2 Army. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina to win the rematch again. Well, I have to say that. Never mind. Yeah, I'm taking them to cover the -3.5. Old Miss flipped from an underdog to a favorite because everyone's betting on them. I think LSU lets down because they are not that good this year. I'll take Old Miss -2.5. This game's 10.5. I will take Notre Dame plus 10.5. Whether you think they will win or not, that is way too much. That's going to be a good game. I will take Alabama to cover to 17 because Florida's defense is not good and they are going to get beat up. And I'm going to take Tulsa plus 14 for Cincinnati. That's a big number.
There you go.
So, conference championship picks here. We'll throw them out here real quick.
Yeah.
We'll hit break and then we'll go to the NFL.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Friday, putting you on the spot, some Conference USA, UAB at Marshall.
Let's go. Marshall. Yeah, give me Marshall.
I almost took, I will say,
I like the Dragons.
Yeah, I almost took UAB plus 5, but I decided to hold off. That would be a backup pick. Ball State at Buffalo. Give me Heisman candidate Jarrett Patterson.
Yeah, I'll go Buffalo. Give the what's the offensive line trophy that's the full offensive line group?
Oh, I do not remember.
I can't remember what it's called, but they should get
it. That's fair. That or North Carolina? Well, I mean, I guess that was just only for 1 week.
Yeah.
What they did to Miami was just rude.
Yeah.
We have Pac-12. Well, I already said I am taking USC over Oregon since they're covering the spread.
Yeah, USC. Oregon just doesn't look good.
You kind of forget USC's 5-0. Obviously, you know my pick on the Big Ten, so what you got on Northwestern Ohio State?
Yeah, Ohio State. Sorry, Northwestern. I really do love them, though. I've always... That coach, blanking on his name. Yeah, Fitzgerald's awesome, man. He really is. Caleb's out of his mind if he thinks Fitzgerald's ever leaving Northwestern.
Oh, no way. He turned down the... what job did he turn down? I'm like, anyways, keep going.
Oklahoma. He's their K-State Schneider. He's going to be there forever.
Oh, yeah. Oklahoma, Iowa State. I said Iowa State will cover, but I think it's too hard to beat OU twice, so I will take Oklahoma to win very close.
I'm going to actually take Oklahoma to win by quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like
it. Louisiana and Coastal. Obviously, you know I have Coastal there on a rematch.
You know, I'm going to take the Cajuns.
All right.
I'm going to take them Raging Cajuns.
They beat Iowa State. They're a good team. They're a very good team.
Yep.
They whooped Iowa State. It wasn't like a close game. They whooped them 31-17.
Oh.
Clemson, Notre Dame. I will take Clemson in a close one, though.
I'll take Clemson by like 10.
Okay. Hey, it's 10.5. There you go. We get that plus 10.5 for Notre Dame. We go Boise State's undefeated San Jose State. I'm taking Boise State.
Yeah.
Not just for Boise State. Man, if I had more time. Friend that went to A&M had a good Nick Starkel story on how he's a jerk. So.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Boise State. Whoop on Starkel. We have SEC, Alabama, Florida, obviously Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
And the AAC, Tulsa, Cincinnati. Said, oh man, it's gone up. Oh, I get 14.5 now. Did not realize that. Give me that 14.5 for Tulsa, but Cincinnati wins. That is perfect because I think it could be a 10-14 game. So that I will take that, but Cincinnati wins.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Cincinnati by a lot.
Okay. That's why I like that 14.5. That's perfect. 2 touchdowns. That's a good win.
I'm going to say Cincy covers that.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, there you go. Conference championship picks. Next week, we'll obviously have NBA, but we'll have to touch a little bit on what the playoff will look like.
For sure.
But we will get to some NFL right after this break.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. The challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need, and doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rose, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air Network.
And we are back here going into some NFL. As always, as you see, we got the MyBookie, as I mentioned. And don't forget, you can download the Zingo TV app, 12OZ Sport, or just 12OZ, sorry, for the code when you sign up. It's free already, but you can throw it on the big screen TV there. As we start talking some NFL, as we'll take a little look back real quick at last week of action and some playoff picture with our picks for next week. Thursday night football, we had an ugly 24-3 game. We had, I told you, a closer but a loss by the Lions at 31-24. We'll just rattle off scores and we'll touch back here on games. Bears whoop on the Texans. Would you have thought Mitch Trubisky would beat Deshaun Watson 36-7 with Patrick Mahomes throwing 3 picks in the same week. Cowboys beat the Bengals 30-7. Chiefs 33-27 Dolphins over Dolphins. Cardinals 26-7 over Giants. Bucks 26-14 over Vikings. Broncos 32-27 over the Panthers, and they made a nice strong push after I made fun of Drew Lock on Twitter. Titans 31-10 over the Jags, but Minshew Mania is back. Colts 44-27 over your Raiders. Seahawks 40-3 over the Jets. 24-21 Eagles win over the Saints, as we'll definitely touch on that. Chargers versus Falcons, the Spider-Man meme of the teams pointing at each other right there, but the Chargers win. Football team wins 23-15, Bills 26-15, and Ravens Browns in the Poop Bowl 47-42. Just want to say in the poll we had a very strong 73% majority does not believe Lamar Jackson, and they do think he had the poop.
I don't think he did.
I think he did.
Really?
I think he did. I don't believe it. I think he did.
Okay. All right.
That was a poop run he did to the locker room.
Poop run.
He was holding it.
Fair enough. Well, throw back to the. All right, is this?
Just go for it. Saints.
Is
Eagles.
this? No. Well, no.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't go in there yet. I was just say, is this the part where I have to officially apologize to the Rams?
Yes, you do. You can still say Jared Goff is not good, but you do have to apologize because that defense has been showing you up.
Yeah, they have. I still don't think they're going to make noise in the playoffs. Can I say that?
Sure. But you're admitting they will probably make the playoffs, though. So.
Yeah, I am, and I'll tell you what I think contributes to them being better than I thought they were too, is the fact that the NFC West is weaker than I thought it was going to be. I knew the Seahawks defense was going to be bad. We all knew that. So they're about probably where I thought they would be. Maybe not record-wise, but the team as a whole, like what I thought they would be about.
Yeah.
49ers, I thought they'd be healthy. I thought they'd be winning this division. Cards have been
all over the place.
All over the place. Shaky. I thought they would be more consistent. I think I had them as... I want to say I had them in our preview as above the Seahawks, actually. I had both Seahawks and Cards making the playoffs, which that's going to be wrong. But yeah, I think that definitely contributes to them being better than I thought they were, is the fact that the NFC West as a whole is worse than I thought they would be. But yes, Rams, I do apologize. I've been calling you fakes and imposters the entire season, and it appears I was wrong. I do apologize. Do you see how that works, Fox Sports? You can say that you're wrong on a take instead of pretending that you didn't say that, cowherd, and just admit that you're wrong, because that happens. Rams, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
No.
Coward. Did you see him, or was that you that sent it?
I sent that, the Lamar Jackson stuff where he's like, I'm the biggest fan, and then it's like cutting him saying he's Tebow 2.0, and then he's saying, oh, people thought he's 2.0, but I didn't, and then it's him saying that exact thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was hilarious when I saw that, so I had to send that. Look, dude. If I'm, like you said, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but I'm not going to go out and say I like that. I'm not going to go start arguing. I'll jump on that guy. Like, if I'm not saying I didn't. I thought Lamar Jackson still could be a quarterback, but say if I was him and I didn't think it, look, I can become a huge fan of him now and be like, look, I'm wrong. I love it. I think he's a great quarterback. I'm all in. I'm sorry I doubted you. You got my support now. Yeah. That's one way to do it.
Truth be told, I don't know what my take. I don't remember what my take was on Lamar.
I don't think he was going to be like MVP that fast, but I thought he could easily be a starting NFL quarterback. I didn't know we were going to be at this level, but. And
I think I have probably a hot take now, especially after this past game. I still don't think it's there necessarily. I don't think he's going to be I don't think it's going to be him and Mahomes.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think this year showed that a little bit of the. I feel like this is probably a not equivalent comparison. This isn't exactly the comparison I'm wanting to go for, but it's kind of the one that's going to come out. It's the Wildcat, where the Wildcat reigned supreme for one season, and then all the defensive coordinators looked at it for an entire offseason and were like, "Oh, we get it now. We're good."
Yeah.
And I don't think Lamar's passing is good enough to step up when a team has figured him out in the run game. Granted, I also don't think he's gotten a true receiver yet.
That's fair.
Hollywood Brown, he needs to shut his mouth on Twitter, calling people out for not passing the ball, and then he drops the ball constantly, whatever. But I don't think that he's gotten a true wide receiver, so maybe it's also on the receivers. I don't know, but I'm still not ready to be like, oh, he had this really good game last week, he's back. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm still not sold on him as being the Mahomes and Lamar. I feel like I was at the end of the first season, but after seeing what the defensive coordinators have been able to do this season, I'm taken some steps back.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game, though. However you think
for
happened.
Sure.
Trace McSorley sacrifices ACL there for that win.
Yeah.
We'll work a little backwards real quick. Bills. I mean, obviously I know you're all in on the Bills, but kind of expose the Steelers a little bit there, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're bad. I think when I say expose, I'm not saying the Steelers. They can't do anything. They have a very good defense, Steelers, but the run game is still a little shaky, and the offensive receivers, I don't know, that they are still a little hit and miss. They're so young.
Yeah, I think the Steelers showed the thing that they've shown all year is they cannot run the ball effectively right now. They just can't. Big Ben can't move like he used to, so he has to just sit in the pocket. If someone doesn't get open, they suck. Yeah. If they do get open, they're good. The defense is still good. They lose some pieces to injury. Now it's not as good. Period. I wouldn't say it was necessarily like exposing. Yeah. Diggs had a really good game. In the second half, he just completely took over, which is really – Diggs does that every now and then where, like, he always plays well, but, like, there's those games where he just takes over and you're just like, goodness, man, like, where is this coming from? That was one of those games where he's just like, no one could cover him that whole second half. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad because the Steelers have lost some really good – Devin Bush, Bud Dupree – those are really, really good pieces. Very important. And I want to say one of the few takes that I've heard it was Collinsworth called that game, right? Yeah. One of the few takes I've ever heard Collinsworth say that is so true and I liked was that Steelers defense is so dependent on their linebacker play. Everything revolves around the linebackers of the Steelers. And when those linebackers are gone, their defense isn't good. And that's a proven thing because – they had the Harrison and the other good linebackers that were there kind of in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and then they didn't have anyone for a while and they sucked. Then they get Shazier, they start to come back, and then they get a full linebacker core and they're really good again. So it is tough to lose Bush, and Bush is an underrated player in this league, very underrated. He's so good. And so is Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree's really come on in the past couple of seasons because he had some really disappointing years when he got drafted so high for them. But, I think they'll probably win their first round and then not get past that.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I will give you like a minute or two real quick. Saints, Eagles, and then we're going to look at playoff picture.
Oh, I don't even – I mean, we played a bad game. We're predictable, regardless of what Caleb wants to say, we're a better team with Taysom. No, we're more predictable. We're more predictable. Because Sean's play calling is not the same that it would be with Drew, with Taysom. If it's 3rd and 1, everyone in the damn world knows what we're going to do. Taysom's going to run straight up the middle and do nothing. Jalen Hurts brought that team energy. They won. I was proud that the Saints kept fighting. I kind of thought we were just going to lay down, and we didn't necessarily lay down. So that was good. I'm not on red alert. It is what it is. We're still 10-win team, and we're in, week 14? 15?
14 or 15.
I'm not worried.
15, yeah.
It'll be fine. Now, we did potentially lose home field advantage throughout the playoffs with that. That's big. But I actually think the Packers are going to lose a game before the end of the season again. So I think that might open it up if we can have a miraculous win this week. So that's all I'll say.
All right. Well, let's look at the playoff picture here real quick before we head into our picks for the week. Just kind of want to point out something. Obviously, now that means the Chiefs have taken over the number 1 spot, which I think we all saw coming. We still have obviously Chiefs, Steelers locked in. We have Buffalo right there, so close. I'm kind of weird that they aren't, but they're going to get locked in. So don't really feel like going too much. We have the Browns, even though they lost. They have Giants and Jets the next 2 weeks. they can clinch just with just a couple of good wins here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So really kind of looking at, we have the Titans and the Colts. Because the Colts lost to the Jags, don't forget about that. The Titans have that tiebreaker because they went 1-1 versus each other. Titans have the Lions, who might not have Stafford, Packers, and Texans the end of the year. And then we have the Colts, who have Texans, Steelers, and Jaguars.
That's tough. It is, because I think the Colts have finally figured out what they have to do. Run the ball. Run the ball. Jonathan Taylor's starting to come on finally, consistently, I guess. And, and the defense is still really good.
Yeah.
Defense is really good. So, I don't know. I
could see them both, because this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's the end of the road for your Raiders.
The
Dolphins
I know.
have Patriots, Raiders, Bills. They have to win these next two and not depend on the Bills.
Yeah.
That will knock out Raiders. Baltimore has Jags, Giants, Bengals. What a nice stretch to finish the year. So I don't see a window for the Raiders.
Whose is that?
That's Baltimore's. And Raiders have Chargers, Dolphins, Broncos. Not the hardest other than Dolphins, but we'll get the picks, but I see some slipping here for the Raiders. And what I just said for the Baltimore, who's a game ahead of them, not even in a playoff spot. I think we could see Indianapolis fall out, and then we have Baltimore and Miami with 6 and 7. So that'll be a tough one. That is a tough one, because Miami is playing a game back on Colts, so I don't know.
I think
I could just see Phillip Rivers doing one bad game, and that's going to ruin it.
Yeah, I would need it in front of me. Like I need like the whole bracket right now in front of me, and then their schedules. But
that's fair.
One thing is for sure, I definitely think the Raiders are done.
That's
so.
Looking real quick on NFC.
It's a good run though, boys.
Yep. You said you think the Saints will have a chance to pop back into that one because of the Packers maybe losing here. I wish we could dive a little more into this, but we have really the Vikings and Bears. Do you see a window for if they get in? Because I think it's really all on the Cardinals, because they're so hit and miss. Do they fall apart and Minnesota or Bears get a shot? Because really, that's about it.
I just hope to God Minnesota doesn't make the playoffs. Please don't do that again to us. Please. Please. Don't let us play them. Please. We can't beat them in the playoffs. It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen.
Oof.
Oh, God.
Fair enough. Well, let's get some picks then.
Oh, that's a horrendous thought. Yeah, go for
picks
it.
Real quick. I had 11 last week. I don't know how much you had. So.
Oh, I did. I had a bad week compared to you. I had 8.
Yikes. All right, well, let's see if you can make it up here. Thursday night football, Chargers at Raiders. I'm going Chargers.
I'm still going to go with the Raiders.
All right. Bills at Broncos. Got Bills.
Bills. Although I think this one might be a trap game.
Okay.
Bills coming up flying high.
That's fair.
You know how they feel.
Yeah.
That's a song.
Panthers at Packers. I will take Packers. Unless you think that's where they slip up. Okay. Bucks at Falcons. I will take the Bucks. They need to keep winning.
Yeah, Bucks.
Bears at Vikings. I'll take the Vikings.
I'm going to go Vikes.
49ers at Cowboys. Give me the 49ers flexed out of Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, 49ers. Flexed out. I forgot about that,
yeah. Lions at Titans. Yeah, Titans. Texans at Colts. I think this could be a little tricky, but I'll give the Colts because of that defense.
Yeah, I'm going to give Colts. I just don't like what Texans are giving Deshaun to throw to right now.
Yeah. Patriots at Dolphins. I'll take the Dolphins.
I'm going to go Pats.
Okay. Seahawks at football team. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, give me Seahawks.
Jags at Vikings. Jags.
Jags.
Ooh,
Ravens.
Ravens. Sorry. Jags at Ravens. Yeah, give me Ravens.
Ravens.
Jets at Rams. Oof, that might be a shutout. Rams.
Yeah, Rams.
Eagles at Cardinals. I will take a bounce. No, it's not bounce back because they won, but I will keep going with the Cardinals because I need that playoff pick.
I'm going Eagles.
All right, I could see that. That's why it was tough.
Yeah.
Chiefs at Saints. Give me the Chiefs.
Oh, God, I had to go with the Saints.
Browns at Giants and Sunday Night Football. Give me the Browns.
Give me the Browns.
And Steelers at Bengals at Monday Night Football. Steelers.
They'll be able to run that game.
Yeah, nice bounce back game. So there you go. There's our picks. There's the show. Like we said, we got NBA talk next week with Jalen joining us. So tune in there. We got obviously a lot of great college football playoffs to talk about. And catch any other shows on 12 Ounce Sports. We'll be back next week. Have a great rest of your night.